जो भी मतलब एंटर हो रहा है प्लीज अपने नाम से एंटर हो, वरना इसे रिमूव कर देंगे हम लोग। ओके
Should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, listeners? How are we?
Walaikum salam. We are good, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Anshara. Anshara Shaheen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम मैम।
Walaikum assalam. How
How
are
are you
you?
ma'am? I'm fine ma'am।
Walaikum
you?
assalam, ma'am. Alhamdulillah, all good. And you?
Good. I'm really excited to have you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you ma'am।
Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Monica Yasmin, and I've been practicing here in USA since 2016, and I'm really honored to be sharing my knowledge today about of the problem children and adults have, that is ADHD. You might hear this term, right? Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. Okay, let me share you one slide just to Can you see it? Can you see it?
No, ma'am. Try it again.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Why this is not? Okay, got it. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so ADD and ADHD. Why I wrote here ADD? We will talk it later on. So this would be our topic today. So, why I should pick this topic? I picked this topic because this is the most ignorant issue in our culture. You know, this problem, ADHD, it is 76% frequent among all psychiatric disorders. But this is the most ignorant in our culture, especially by parents and teachers. So that is why we are here to share our knowledge. So होता क्या है हमारे कल्चर में, whenever we see any behavior which is deviant, which is not appropriate, which is different from others, अम्मा बोलती है निक्का बड़ा शैतान है, ऐसे ही बोलती है, राइट? अम्मा ने डायग्नोसिस दे दिया और
मैम स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रही आपकी।
हाँ, I will tell you।
सही है मैम। ओके मैम।
तो और अम्मा डायग्नोसिस बंद कर देती हैं ये कह के कि अब्बा पे गया है, चैप्टर क्लोज। तो आज हम यही डिस्कस करेंगे कि बच्चा अब्बा पे क्यों जाता है, अम्मा पे क्यों नहीं जाता। We will discuss it too. Okay, let me give you a little bit background of ADHD. What is actually ADHD is divided into 3 different types: inattentive type, hyperactive type, hyperactive impulsive type, and combination type. So symptoms will determine which type of ADHD child or adolescents have to be diagnosed with ADHD. Right? Symptoms must have impact on client day-to-day life. Symptoms can change over time, so the type of ADHD client has many changes and can be long life challenging, but medication and other treatments can help improve their quality of life. So how we diagnose all these things, either he's inattentive, either he's hyperactive, or either he is combination. There is a manual which is called Diagnostic Statistical Manual, DSM, and the current version is 5. It's a manual for assessment and diagnosis of mental disorders, right? And as I said, 76% common disorders among all neurocognitive disorders, ADHD I'm talking about. Okay, so when we said what is inattentiveness, let me share you something. Let's have a look. If we said the child have inattentiveness, it means people who experience inattentive behavior often miss details and are distracted easily, get bored quickly, have trouble focusing on a single task, have difficulty organizing thoughts and learning new information, lose pencils, papers, or other items needed to complete a task, don't seem to be listening, move slowly and appear as if they are daydreaming, process information more slowly and less accurate than others, have trouble following directions, and more girls are diagnosed with inattentive type ADHD than boys. So this is what is inattentive type. This is actually scenario a child in a classroom. I hope you get it. Okay, so when we talk about hyperactive, let's have a little bit detail. What does it mean? This type of ADHD is characterized by symptoms of impulsivity and hyperactivity. Let me share with this too. So that you have a quick look on it. Just wanted to. Okay. This type of ADHD is characterized by symptoms of impulsivity and hyperactivity. People with this type can display signs of inattention, but it's not as marked as other symptoms. People who are impulsive or hyperactive often squirm, frigid, or feel restless, have difficulty sitting still, talk constantly, touch and play with objects even when inappropriate to the task at hand, have trouble engaging in quiet activities, are constantly on the go, are impatient, act out of turn, and don't think about consequences of action, blurt out answers and inappropriate comments. So this was a quick look on inattentive type and hyperactive type. So, if we combine both, it becomes combination type. And kids mostly have combination type. Okay, so one more thing I want to share. Let's have a quick look on etiology. Okay, so we have three hypotheses or theories why these things happening. One theory says it's because of genetics. What genetic means? Genetic means ADHD tends to run in families, and in most cases, it's thought to gene you inherit from your parents or a significant factor in developing the condition. Research shows that parents and siblings of a child with ADHD are more likely to have ADHD themselves. So this was genetic. Okay. Second theory is about the brain structure. It says linked to abnormality in prefrontal cortex, cerebellum, which coordinate motor activity, basal ganglia, caudate nucleus, putamen involves the control of movement. These are the part of basal ganglia. So let me have a quick look in it. This is a cerebral cortex and frontal lobe, parietal, occipital, and temporal. These are the part of cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex is actually, this layer. So, and these are the parts. So, what this theory says, frontal lobe, prefrontal or the frontal cortex, and dorsolateral. This is the center part of the brain. This one. What this says, studies found that ADHD is associated with weaker function and structure of prefrontal cortex, especially in the right hemisphere. The prefrontal associated cortex plays a crucial role in regulating tension, behavior, and emotion, with the right hemisphere specialized for inhibition. And second is temporal lobe. Temporal lobe is ये area होता है हमारे कानों वाला, and this is actually related to memory. That's how we said ADHD kids distract easily and they do not retain memory in their brain. Why? It says by limbic system. Limbic system is a process of it's a whole process which maintain our memory. Stratum, which is related to movement. Thalamus, which is related to messages. It's a relay system, relay station in our brain. Amygdala, which is related to emotional memory, and corpus callosum. Corpus callosum is an organ which connected two brains. Two brains means left hemisphere and right hemisphere connected with the small organ that is called corpus callosum. And what it says, that corpus, all these organs actually are smaller in size or somehow they are not functioning good. That's why those behavior are crucial. So people with ADHD often have difficulty paying attention in some settings, but not others, and that problem are more likely to occur in dull, repetitive, familiar, high-structured situation, in situation in which reinforcement is inconsistently provided or is unavailable. So what it means actually, they're saying क्लासरूम में एक्चुअली एवरीथिंग स्ट्रक्चर्ड होती है, which is boring for them. So that make them bored. That's why they distracted easily. जब वो घर में होते हैं, they are happy, they find their things which are interesting. मगर classroom में उनके पास opportunities नहीं होती. That's why they are more hyperactive and more distract there. Okay, let me share one more thing. Okay. So diagnosing ADHD through psychometrics. Okay, let's have a quick look on it. These are things you cannot find through internet. These are the tests which I like and I do with ADHD kids. I mean, you can find these tests on internet, but not all together. So I, combine all of them for you guys. So first, what I do is Wessel Intelligence Scale, which is called WIS4. It is for adults, and when we do in children, it's called WISC, which is WISC 5, and Wessel Individual Achievement Test, third edition, which is called WIAT. So these two tests clinicians do first with ADHD kids. So normally what's happening, we do intelligence test with everybody, with every disorder. In fact, we conduct intelligence tests on dementia, on Alzheimer's, on Huntington's, I mean every kind of patient. Why? Because intelligence test tells us how good prognosis they could have. वो जितने अच्छे इंटेलिजेंट होंगे उतना अच्छा उनका डायग्नोसिस और प्रोग्नोसिस अच्छा होगा, because they can get the intervention, the therapy things good. So but why achievement test? We do not do achievement test with everybody, but with ADHD kids it is important. Why? Because you know what, intelligence test is actually tell clinicians that how much ability you have to grasp things, to get knowledge, your reasoning, your problem solving skills and all that. So and achievement test tells us how much he or she already acquired the knowledge. For example, there is a child who is 9 years old, means he already passed his KG standard, first class, second, or maybe he's in third class. So that tells us how much knowledge he acquired up till now. Is he equal to his chronological age or not? So if he is not, it gives us 2 standard deviation differences. For example, if I'm not going to, show you that statistical map and all that, just if you can figure out, make a line and make a, bell curve. So for example, if child giving us 2 standard deviation differences, for example, one standard deviation is 65% to 68%, and 3 is 99%. So whenever we find the difference between 2 standard deviations, that confirms us problem is there. The child have, or the adolescent have ability, he is intelligent, but his achievement is below average because of his problem. So it signifies us that the child has a problem. Second, there is a test which is called Connors Continuous Performance Test, CPT-3, which is very good. And actually, it is designed to diagnose ADHD. It gives you all details. It gives you either child is an inattentive type, either child is impulsive type, or combination type. This is a very good test. Okay, and behavior assessment system for child, third edition, which is called BASC 3. This is not particularly related to ADHD, but why I do this, I will tell you later. For this, these are the comorbid diagnoses. So because of these, to find out these, I do these. BASC. It tells me what comorbid, problems also going on with the primary disorder. Okay. Third is Connors rating scale, parent, teacher, and self-report. These are the individual checklist tests. We give to parents, we give to teacher, and the child too. So then we collaborate parents' results, teachers, and self-report, and see the results. Either teacher and parents are matching each other or not. Third is Connors Adult ADHD Rating Scale, which is called CARS. We do on adults. Connors Adult ADHD Scales Observer Report. So we give it CARS. OL means L means long and OS means observer. So we give this self-report to the adolescent who have problem, and anybody, the person who living with him, that could be his mother, that could be his father, or neighbor or friend, anybody who knows client very much. So, and then we collaborate both results and find out how much they significant. So that is how we know the problem is there and why we do all these tests just to find out the significance, because clinician going to diagnose them or tagging them. So this is a sensitive issue when you tell to the parents or teacher that your child having such kind of a problem. So clinician should be, confirmed to diagnose them, So this is a responsibility. That's why there is a battery of tests should be conducted to give, 100% result. Okay, let me share one more thing. Okay, here. Comorbid diagnosis. So comorbid describes the effect of all other conditions an individual patients might have other than the primary condition of interest, and can be physiological and psychological. For example, ODD. ODD means opposite defiant disorder, which is 50% in ADHD. In conduct disorder is 25%. So conduct disorder is actually a severe form of ODD. ODD meaning a child having a outburst, behavior. He has aggression and, defiant behavior. And, but those are in mild condition. Comparatively, conduct disorder before 17 is called conduct, but after 17, it's called anti-social personality disorder. And this is the severe form. Severe form meaning the child could be destructive, he could be theft, he could be, harm himself, others, destruction of property, and all those stuff. So these two disorders are pretty much common in ADHD. Okay, third is LD. LD means learning disorders, which the popular term is dyslexia. Third is anxiety and depression. These two actually very common in all disorders. In fact, those people who are normal, they also do have anxiety and depression to some extent. And finally, suicidality. Sometimes you just get amazed why someone attempt or commit suicide. So this could be the reason. So everybody clear on it? Should we proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about treatment. So when we talk about treatment, first comes medication and then behavioral intervention. So the popular medication, is for ADHD is Ritalin and other central nervous stimulant um, that is beneficial effect up to 80%. Okay, second, behavioral intervention. Those are also useful for addressing coexisting problems such as problematic relationship with peer parents, academic difficulties, and non-compliance behavior. And the most effective treatment is when if medication is combined with um, child-focused intervention and parents training and school-based intervention. So these are, if we combine all these three things, that is the most useful or beneficial for the child. So, but here is thing, uh, before giving medicine, one should be careful if they are preschooler. Preschooler means uh, like, before elementary, like before 5 years of age. So parent and teacher apply intervention as the treatment of choice and methylphenidate, which is called Ritalin, only when behavior intervention are inadequate, meaning only in the severe cases. Otherwise, preschooler do not deserve having the medicine. Second, elementary school age, elementary like age 5 to 10 or 11, I guess. So a combination of elementary school age children like medicine and intervention both, you can apply it on them. But when they cross, elementary and they just come upon puberty or adolescent age, medicines for adolescents you would be the first choice. And plus along with the behavioral intervention. So this should be considered that whom to get medicines and whom should not to get. Okie dokie. So everybody clear on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we covered pretty much everything. So in the end, we have recommendation section. And I really like to read all these recommendations. I usually, used to give it to parents here in the United States and the children. The teacher of the children. So first, what we suggest them to consult with pediatrician for review and discuss treatment options. So first thing, take your child to the appropriate, profession. आंख के इलाज के लिए आप किडनी के डॉक्टर के पास नहीं जाएंगे, आपको प्रॉपर प्रोफेशन क्लिनिशियन के पास जाना है. Okay, they may benefit from some accommodation at school informally. Maybe it means maybe the teacher, may can sit them beside them, so distract teacher, help them to come back. Okay, suggestion include chunking assignments given to client in parts, chunking often for understanding, oversight, and teaching her organizational skills for assignments completion. Having her repeat back instructions quietly to the teacher to ensure her understanding of the task and helping her get started on it may be helpful, as well as copy to teacher's notes or test taking in a quiet environment and preferential seating. So, what does it mean? Sometimes teacher child asks question again and again. So what is the disaster thing? Teacher get offense and said, why are you asking this question again and again? See, everybody getting it and you are not. So that is the disastrous for such kids. Teacher should know client needs extra time to complete timed test or assignment, meaning the client, these children are special, so they maybe, cannot complete tasks on those timed related, assignments. So teachers should consider to give them more time. Frequent feedback about her own task behavior through a single form, the teacher, reinforce positive efforts and appropriate classroom behavior, have a dedicated place for study at home, teach ways to effectively study and stay on task during homework time. Okay, use of timeline for completing certain tasks which require extended amount of time can be developed. The timeline is usually done on a colored sheet of paper that child and Idli see and has designated tasks to be completed for each they are accomplished. Supplemented traditional lectures with visual aids and demonstration. So such kids also need, not only verbal but visual aids too. Sometimes, you can show them pictures to teach them. Sometimes some kids learn just through, lecture, but some kids need visual attention. So these kids actually need that. The plan can be broken down into a series of steps arranged in a sequential order and written down as a bullet sheet. For example, I make these here, like clothes and their checklist, shirts, clothes, pants, dresses. Okay, the visual tool will allow for independent completion of an entire routine or task. Use of morning routine, checklist or homework checklist, or if needed, frequent checks by teacher or parents can be built in. For example, child has to complete a worksheet with 15 items. She completes 5 and then has to check in with the adult to ensure that he is completing the work and doing it correctly. This will facilitate self-monitoring. So this is all about today's session. So anybody have any questions? They can ask. Anybody have any question? Or
मैम ये जो डिसऑर्डर
I actually
मैम ये जो डिसऑर्डर है इसका स्टार्ट मतलब हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये हमारे पास अगर डिसऑर्डर स्टार्ट हुआ है तो इसका जो मतलब टाइम है फ्री टाइम ठीक है मैम वो स्टार्टिंग की है और इसकी मतलब सिम्टम्स क्या है कि हम इस चीज को रिकॉग्नाइज कर सकते डिसऑर्डर को जो है वो कर सकते कि ये एडीएचडी ही है
okay. So my understanding, what you are asking first, the starting point, right? Okay, such behavior is actually start at the, you can judge them before 12 years of age. They can show such behavior when they are 2 years old, 4 years old, 6 years old. So you should know the symptoms. I just, showed them what is inattentiveness, what is distraction. Sometimes you feel that he's not listening. So when you see such kind of behavior, is happening, you can get the idea. But mostly hota ye hai कि teachers get the idea more. Parents को पता नहीं चलता है. So whenever they start their schooling, problem arises because uh, hello,
Yes,
Zuhair.
ma'am.
Okay,
यस मैम
are you listening me?
यस मैम
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So टीचर आराम से डायग्नोज कर सकते एज बच्चा जो है वो अलग से ही दिखता है क्लासरूम में ना बहुत शरारती बहुत शरारती कहते हैं ना टीचर अमूमन ऐसे बच्चों को सो यू कैन जज देम इजीली सो देयर इज अ नीड कि आप टीचर को देयर इज अ टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग एक्चुअली वी नीड टू teach them and we need to teach parents as well that is how hope I give your answer
थैंक यू मैम
anybody else
एचडी में मेमोरी अफेक्टेड होती है अगर होती है तो
oh definitely as I said कि एक्चुअली मेमोरी पार्ट जो है वो सबसे ज़्यादा हैम्पर होता है जो टेम्पोरल लोब है जो लिम्बिक सिस्टम है स्पेशली और जो थैलेमस और जो मैंने आई जस्ट showed you guys these organs are most affected और हमारी जो prefrontal cortex which actually related to short-term memory, the working memory, working memory actually lasts minimum 3 seconds to 30 minutes. Yeah. After that, it will consider a long-term memory. तो ये जो working memory है, ये बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसे बच्चों की खराब होती है. तो that is why they ask question again and again. 3 सेकंड्स के बाद ही वो भूल जाते हैं कि हम टीचर ने बोला क्या था सो दैट सो डेफिनेटली मेमोरी बहुत इफेक्ट होती है
अगर ये शॉर्ट टर्म ये वर्किंग मेमोरी अफेक्ट हो रही है तो उसमें मतलब लॉन्ग टर्म भी वही मेमोरी बनती है जाके तो फिर वो भी अफेक्ट होगी
नो स्वीटहार्ट लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी इज डिफरेंट दैट इज अ डिक्लेरेटिव मेमोरी एंड शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी इज डिफरेंट लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी वो होती है जो हमारी रिमोट में चली जाती है यानी जो हमारी करंट बिहेवियर होता है जो हमारा एग्जीक्यूटिव फंक्शन है वो वर्किंग मेमोरी में आता है उसको उस वक्त नहीं कर पा रहा है, तो वो लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी नहीं है, वो उसकी वर्किंग मेमोरी है जो उसको वो काम नहीं करने दे रही. सो दैट इज हैम्पर्ड एक्चुअली, नॉट लॉन्ग टर्म इनफैक्ट. लेकिन चूंकि मेमोरी समहाउ इफेक्ट होती होगी, बट working memory is more affected than long-term memory. Anybody else?
मैम आईक्यू लेवल
Anything?
भी लो होगा ऐसे बच्चों का फिर?
हाँ, एक्चुअली होता ही है कि आई ऑब्जर्व ये एवरेज भी होते हैं, मगर ज़्यादातर बिलो एवरेज होते हैं. और वजह ये होती है कि इनके पास एबिलिटी तो होती है, लेकिन इनकी ये जो प्रॉब्लम होती है डिस्ट्रैक्शन की, और यू नो जो एग्जीक्यूटिव फंक्शनिंग ठीक नहीं चल रही होती है. IQ doesn't mean vocabulary test. IQ doesn't mean आप उसके वर्बल, आप उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेसिंग, आप उसके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्किल्स, ये सब टेस्ट कर रहे होते हैं. तो रिसर्चेस हैज़ बीन शोन जो सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्टेड थिंग होती है, जो सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्टेड एरिया है ADHD बच्चों का, वो है इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेसिंग. यानी वो इंफॉर्मेशन को नहीं ले पाते. तो अदरवाइज उनकी वोकैबुलरी भी अच्छी होती है, उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्किल्स भी अच्छे होते हैं, मगर इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेसिंग की वजह से उनके IQ स्कोर गिर जाते हैं. मगर समटाइम्स अगर माइल्ड ADHD की तरफ है बच्चा तो वो एवरेज भी आता है. आई सॉ देम, दे कम अप ऑन एवरेज लेवल टू. बहुत ज़्यादा बिलो नहीं होता. एज फार एज उनके साथ कोई कोमोबिड नहीं हो. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर वो LDs भी हैं, लाइक उनको अगर कोई लर्निंग डिसऑर्डर भी है, लाइक स्पेसिफिक लर्निंग डिसऑर्डर लाइक रीडिंग और मैथ और राइटिंग स्किल्स में प्रॉब्लम है, तो वो चीज़ उसको मोर बिलो एवरेज कर देगी कंपैरेटिवली हिज पीयर ग्रुप. होप आई
मैम, और जो लैक ऑफ अटेंशन है, इस चीज को कैसे ओवरकम कर सकते हैं?
ओके, इट्स डिपेंड कि बच्चे की एज क्या है. ठीक है, अगर वो एडोलसेंट है तो आप उसको मेडिसिन देंगे, और मेडिसिन एक्चुअली वर्क्स ग्रेट, बहुत अच्छे से. बच्चे के ग्रेड एकदम से हाई हो जाते हैं. वो जो लो ग्रेड में आ रहा होता है मुस्तकिल, एकदम से उसके ग्रेड हाई हो जाते हैं. तो मेडिसिन, बट अगर उसकी एज छोटी है तो मेडिसिन को अवॉइड किया जाता है, क्योंकि मेडिसिन के जो कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशंस हैं और जो मेडिसिन के साइड इफ़ेक्ट्स हैं वो आई मीन बच्चे के लिए ठीक नहीं होता है. स्पेशली जो डिज़ास्ट्रस होता है वो उसका एपिटाइट होती है जो कि बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो जाती है, और वो बिल्कुल आई मीन उसकी जो न्यूट्रिशन जो जो इनटेक है वो बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो जाती है. तो वो पेरेंट्स पसंद नहीं करते. तो इसलिए उनके लिए बिहेवियरल इंटरवेंशंस होती हैं, और वो भी बहुत अच्छे से इफ़ेक्ट करती हैं. रिसर्चेस ये बताती हैं कि मेडिसिन अलोन इतना अच्छे इफ़ेक्ट नहीं करती. अगर उसके साथ बिहेवियर इंटरवेंशन आप दे रहे हैं, बिहेवियर इंटरवेंशन से मुराद ये है कि लाइक CBT आप कर रहे हैं उसके साथ, लाइक कॉग्निटिव बिहेवियर थेरेपी कर रहे हैं आप उसके साथ, CPT कर रहे हैं आप उसके साथ. लाइक ये जो बिहेवियर इंटरवेंशंस हैं ये सिर्फ प्रोफेशनल साइकोलॉजिस्ट जानता है. अगर आप उसको लेके वहाँ जाएंगे तो ये पेरेंट्स को भी बताएगा और टीचर को भी बताएगा कि व्हाट दिस चाइल्ड नीड्स. और parent and teachers training are most important in this regard.
मैम यानी कि थेरेपी और मेडिसिन के साथ ये चीज कम हो सकती है?
Oh, definitely. सबसे अच्छी बात ADHD मैंने बताई नहीं, इतनी सारी बातें बता दी। सबसे अच्छी बात ADHD की ये होती है कि दे आर वेरी गुड इन स्पोर्ट्स। ये जितने भी डेंजरस आप स्टंट्स देखते हैं ये इन्हीं के होते हैं। आप देखते हैं ना पहाड़ी से कोई कूद रहा है, ये इन्हीं के होते हैं, क्योंकि ये सोचते नहीं है, ये हाइपर एक्टिव होते हैं, दे आर रिस्क टेकर। तो अमूमन ये ADHDs होते हैं जो कि फर्स्ट प्राइज लाते हैं रनिंग में भी, और एवरी स्पोर्ट्स they are very good in every sports, so this is the best thing for ADHD kids.
मिस जैसे आपने बोला कि ये अटेंशन मतलब कि काफ़ी देर तक नहीं रह पाते, लेकिन अगर कोई ऐसा टास्क, कोई ऐसा काम हो जिसमें वो इंटरेस्ट यानी उनका बहुत ज़्यादा हो, तो क्या उससे भी डिस्ट्रैक्ट इजीली हो सकते हैं?
आपका नाम है मारिया?
जी।
मारिया, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इन बच्चों का इंटरेस्ट नहीं रह पाता बिकॉज ऑफ सेवरल रीजंस। ये इंटरेस्ट नहीं दे पाते, चाह के भी नहीं दे पाते, क्योंकि वो जो न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स इम्बैलेंस हैं वो आई मीन दे आर कंपेल, ये चाह के भी वो चीज़ नहीं कर सकते, ये जानबूझ के नहीं कर रहे होते। इनके न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स को स्टेबिलिटी की ज़रूरत होती है। तो होता ये है कि इनको अंडरस्टैंड नहीं किया जा रहा होता, टीचर अंडरस्टैंड नहीं करता, वो शरारती कह के, बदतमीज़ कह के, डिसोबीडियंट कह के उसको और लो कर देता है या उसको और पीछे कर देता है क्लास के। वो चाह रहा होता है मगर ऐसा नहीं होता। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो इंटरेस्ट पे कर रहा है, वो नहीं कर सकता।
मैम
हम्म,
मैम जैसे आपने कहा कि लिमिटेड जो मेडिकेशंस अगर हम जो ट्रीटमेंट्स उनका करवाएं तो वो लिमिटेड टाइम के लिए होगा, ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि 10 साल या 20 साल के बाद जो है वो फिर से उन्हें हो जाए?
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन। आपका नाम क्या है?
मैम आयशा मुगल।
आयशा, एक्चुअली बात ये है कि अनफॉर्चुनेटली ADHD ठीक नहीं हो पाते until they hit their mid age. तो होता ये है कि बचपन में जब ये छोटे होते हैं तो बहुत ज़्यादा इनका बिहेवियर जो है बिहेवियरल इनहिबिशन बहुत होती है, लेकिन जो ये बड़े होते जाते हैं तो ये जो हाइपर एक्टिविटी ये तो ख़त्म हो जाती है, मिडिल एज में ये ख़त्म हो जाती है, तो ज़्यादातर सिर्फ इनअटेंशन रह जाता है। तो अमूमन वो एडोलेसेंट जिनको रहता है, जिन्होंने प्रॉपर मेडिसिन नहीं ली हुई, बिहेवियरल इंटरवेंशंस नहीं लिए हुए, कोई थेरेपी नहीं ली हुई, तो उनको बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है। एम्प्लॉयमेंट में भी वो एक नौकरी में नहीं टिकते, और इनकी अगर शादी हो जाती है तो वो स्पाउसेस से भी ज़्यादा मसले रहते हैं, क्योंकि ये इम्पल्सिव होते हैं और एकदम एब्रप्ट डिसीजंस ले लेते हैं। तो इस तरह के भी मसले इनके स्पाउसेस के साथ रहते हैं, मगर ये चीज़ें ऑटोमेटिकली समहाउ स्टेबल हो जाती हैं व्हेन दे हिट देयर मिड एज, यानी 40s, व्हेन दे हिट देयर 40s और 45 ये ठीक होना शुरू हो जाते हैं, मगर लाइफ तो बेचारे गुजार चुके होते हैं उस वक्त तक। तो लेकिन इट डिपेंड्स कि अगर वो माइल्ड है तो वो डेफिनेटली मेडिसिन बहुत हेल्प कर देती है, और मॉडरेट में भी वो चलता है, बट जो सिवियर हैं दे रियली सफ़र और वो प्रोलॉन्ग चलता है समटाइम्स थ्रू आउट देयर लाइफ। So it depends upon the severity, level of severity. Anyone?
Ma'am, as joined late, so can you put a blink on the causes?
Okay. In my understanding, you are asking the causes of ADHD, Zuhaib?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
Hmm.
Oh, children developed it.
Okay. So, Zuhaib, there are, 2-3 theories about that. Why this is happening? Some says it's actually because of genetics. Parents do have those things, so they transfer to their children. They inherit it. और वो ज़्यादातर who suffered? Boys suffered. Boys are actually every 2 boys, 1 girl suffered. Means boys are 2 times higher than girls. That's why बच्चा जो है वो अम्मा कहती है बच्चा जो है वो अब्बा भी चला गया, तो वजह यही होती है कि वो इनहेरिटेंस में वो चीज़ उन्होंने ले ली होती है। सेकंड थ्योरी कहती है कि जो जो ब्रेन के कुछ पार्ट्स हैं जो कि मैंने बताया, जैसे फ्रंटल लोब है, टेम्पोरल है, और कुछ जो एग्जीक्यूटिव फंक्शनिंग के जो पीछे हिंड ब्रेन है, उनके साइज छोटा होता है, जिसकी वजह से इनका फंक्शन ठीक नहीं होता, जिस वजह से ये बिहेवियर जो है वो इस तरह का होता है। दैट्स व्हाई दे आर सफरिंग। तो एक थ्योरी ये है। और थर्ड थ्योरी जो बहुत कॉमन है वो ये है कि न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स लाइक डोपामीन और another is norepinephrine. These are two neurotransmitters which are very popular. They are actually already in our brain. So dopamine actually for happiness, and norepinephrine actually release in the time of stress for fight and flight. तो होता क्या है कि जब इनकी सीक्रेशन कम हो जाती है, यानी इन द साइनेप्टिक क्लेफ जब इनकी सीक्रेशन कम हो जाती है तो इनको मेडिसिन देनी पड़ती है, एगोनिस्ट मेडिसिन देनी पड़ती है, जो कि इनकी सीक्रेशन को जो वो सकअप कर रही है उस लेवल को वो रोक देती है। और कोशिश उस मेडिसिन की ये होती है, जैसे मैंने कहा मिथाइल फेनिडेट रिकमेंड किया जाता है इनको, जिसका ब्रांड नेम है रिटालिन। तो वो डोपामीन और नॉरएपिनेफ्रिन के चूंकि लेवल को वो रोक देता है सकअप होने से, तो इन बच्चों में बहुत बिहेवियर में बहुत चेंजेस आते हैं, इनके ग्रेड्स भी अच्छे हो जाते हैं और बिहेवियर भी अच्छा, और डिस्ट्रैक्शन भी कम हो जाती है। तो मेडिसिन एक्चुअली रियली वर्क्स। सो दीज 3 reasons are very common. Hope I answer your question. Anything else?
No,
Anybody?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Congratulations
thank you.
very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much,
Thank you, ma'am.
Physio Club. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarish. Thank you so much for give me a chance to share my knowledge. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, and inshallah we will meet again sometime.
Next class, ma'am.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Inshallah, ma'am. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Appreciate.
Okay,
Inshallah.
ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.